So everybody, welcome to this virtual discussion series, The Music of the People, Hip Hop and Beyond. This series is brought to you by ENU Builds and is made possible by a grant funded through the Arts 3D Foundation under the ENU Builds Arts Access Program. During this first rotation of the awarded 2-year grant, ENU is focused on providing workshops and community engagement, highlighting the celebration of 50 years of hip hop. This is the second of 5 planned discussions on that topic. Each one will focus on a different aspect of music and hip hop culture. ENU Builds is a community organization based in Ossining, New York, that is committed to building community, empowering youth, and inspiring networking and growth for the enrichment of Black, Brown, and Indigenous youth of color. ENU Builds founders Tamara Bridgewater and Jermaine Smith are with us this evening as well, and I want to give them an opportunity to say a few words before we get started.
Jermaine, do you want to go first? Yeah.
Sure. Everyone, it's Jermaine. Just want to say thank you guys for joining us tonight. This is something that is dear to my heart because I had a studio here in Ossining, probably in early mid-90s. Reem, we had it here in Ossining. Yep. A couple of my friends had a KMD Studios, which are the pictures are running in the background of my screenshot here. So we had a nice little recording studio here, servicing the youth in Westchester County. Reem was able to bless us there and record along with his cousin Lotta Dark. We had a couple people from the city that we had on a label. Gotta say rest in peace to a couple people that was involved in that. Kenyon Walker, who's my partner with the studio, and there's also Raru Johnson, who's one of the artists who was blessed us and was able to record with us. So just so I want to say welcome to everyone here and looking forward to the discussion tonight.
And so,
yeah, I just Tamara Bridgewater, Jermaine's partner. I just want to say thank you for everyone giving us your time and to share your experiences to celebrate the celebration of 50 years of hip hop. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, thank you both for this opportunity. Our moderator and lead panelist for this discussion is AJ Rock Woodson, editor-in-chief of Black Westchester Magazine, which just celebrated its 9th year of publishing the news with a Black point of view. He's also co-host of People Before Politics Radio, which live streams on Sundays from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern. AJ is uniquely qualified to moderate this discussion as he was the frontman for the rap group JVC Force and has just released a book on the history of hip hop in Westchester, which we're going to hear more about today. Our topic for this evening's panel discussion is actually the title of AJ's book, We Got Our Own Thing, a look at hip hop from the 914, which lays out the history of hip hop in Westchester County from soup to nuts. And it discusses the legends of hip hop who called Westchester County their home, both well-known and a little less known. He has brought with him today some special guests who were instrumental in the Westchester hip hop scene and who continue to be influencers in the music industry. And we're really excited to have them here. And I'm going to let him tell you who they are. But I'm going to first introduce a couple folk. And I know, I'm not sure, is Large Amount here? I don't see him yet in our studio. We do have with us today TJ Davis. TJ is the co-host of the Starting 5 podcast, which airs live every Sunday at 1 Eastern on YouTube and Facebook. He describes the podcast as for fans by fans, and discussion topics include sports, politics, hip hop culture, nerd culture, and more. So now I'm going to turn it over to our moderator and lead panelist, AJ Woodson.
Welcome. Thank you very much for having us. As Lane said, this is episode 2, part 2 in a 5-part series. Today we are, the discussion is a look on hip hop from the 914. As she said, I just recently wrote a book. I don't know if you can see it. It's called We Got Our Own Thing, a look at hip hop from the 914. It documents the purpose of doing this, first off, and all the 50th anniversary celebrations, a lot of Westchester was left out of the conversation. And then Pete Rock posted a tweet saying that he was upset his older cousin Heavy D wasn't mentioned in a lot of the celebrations. And that set off the whole inspiration of doing the book. In the beginning, you had to kind of be considered, you had to be from one of the 5 boroughs to be considered hip hop. And if you weren't, anybody who's not speaking or forgot to say that part, please mute yourself. You had to be kind of from one of the 5 boroughs to be taken serious in hip hop. So Westchester 914 was not really taken serious as like a hip hop mecca or a place, wasn't really taken serious. Even though places like where I live in Mount Vernon and Yonkers, we actually border the Bronx, which is identified as the birthplace of hip hop. And unlike those areas that did not take us serious, like Manhattan and Queens and Staten Island and Harlem, we don't have to cross a bridge to get to the Bronx. I just want to put that out there. We're connected, and everything that was going on in the Bronx kind of hiccuped over into Westchester. So the book identifies that, talks about some of the legends. A lot of the legends that we recognize, they were in Westchester. Kool Herc is recognized as one of the originators who started hip hop. One of the guys that was down with him, JC, that was down with his the Imperial JC, was down with the Herculoids. His crew lived in Yonkers. So when he moved to Yonkers, he brought that whole scene to Yonkers. And Yonkers has a really big, rich hip hop history. There's another book that's out by Jerome Enders called The Lost City, Yonkers, The Lost City of Hip Hop. I advise everybody to check that out. It will give you the whole underground history of Yonkers. It's exclusively Yonkers. I took that approach for all of Westchester, Mount Vernon and New Rochelle being the other 2 meccas in Westchester. Before I get started, I do want to give a shout out to the late, great DMX. Today is DMX's birthday. He would have been 53 today. He performed in Mount Vernon, and we have a little clip. If Leno just shows like 45 seconds of one of his performances, I just wanted to give a little love to DMX real quick.
It's raining like a motherfucker. But before I wrap this up, before I touch
that video is from 2019. He performed at City Fest in Mount Vernon. I was right there with my hoodie on, taping him in the rain with my phone. So I definitely wanted to show that. And one of the other people that are in my book, I invited DJ Tri-State Jericho. He has either not come on or he's going to be late. But he is the first one to tell me about DMX starting off as a beatbox. And he used to beatbox for a rapper named TQ, Top Quality. Top Quality was from White Plains, but he went to Austin High School. And the first time, and he did the talent show every year. He did the 9th grade talent show, the 10th grade talent show, and the 11th grade talent show. And I think 1980 something ish, 87 or something, he brought DMX out for the talent show. And that's the first time a lot of people out in the North Westchester got to see DMX before he was signed. And I wanted to show TQ, never got back to me, and I wanted to show a piece of the interview I did with him. If I can pull that up, bear with me, because this part is new. I use a different format when I do a show. So Top Quality, TQ, there we go. Let's see. Forward a little bit. Look at hip hop from the 914, and you are a part of that picture, even if everyone does not know that.
Right. That's what's up. They can't take away that history.
yeah, no doubt. Yo, so I was talking to my man, Tri-State Jericho, who's the first person to tell me that before everybody knew DMX the rapper, that he used to do the beatbox for you. I'd love to hear that story.
Well, listen, man, X was nice on both the beatbox and on the table. He was nice on the table too. He can.
Okay.
Nah, for real, X was nice on the table too. But yeah. So I guess let me think now. As far as I remember, man, like back when I was in like high school. You know what I mean? I took X to the 11th grade talent show with me. That's when people from Ossining, you know what I mean? Because X is from like Yonkers. So that's what, like, people from Ossining got on DMX when I took them to my high school to the talent show. You know what I mean? I had won the 9th grade talent show, 10th grade talent show. I'm going for my 11th grade talent show win. You know what I mean? I brought X with me. And, you know, at first I was going to have X beatbox and I was just going to go out there and rhyme because I was known for practicing for the show with one act, but on the night of the show, I would always do something that nobody knew. You know what I mean? That was something I always did during high school, during the talent shows. You know what I mean? So I didn't do that year. I ended up playing with the band that year. You know what I mean? Which was also something unexpected because I was practicing for a rap act. Like I was when we had to go for practice for the talent show, I would do rap music. You know what I mean? Like, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do this right here. And then I would do a rap song. But I knew in my heart and I knew in my mind already the night of the show, I was not doing that. You see what I'm saying? So I had brought X with me. People met DMX that night. You know what I mean? Like, people from Austin and from my high school back in those days. That was 1987. That was 1987 when I brought X to my high school.
So
and
you went to Austin High School.
I went to Austin High School, but I was born in White Plains, grew up in White Plains. You know what I mean? I just went to high school in Austin. Okay. You know what I mean? Yeah, my sister went to White Plains High School though, but I went to Austin High School. But yeah, so X, me and X, you know, me and X had the same manager back in the day before either one of us had a contract, a record deal. You got to know, you got to remember, I had a deal before X, you know what I mean? I got on before X, but me and X had the same manager, Jack McNasty, you know what I mean? Yeah. Terry, I'm not sure if it was Terry. I think Terry might have been his real name, but he was from New Rochelle. He was our manager. He had me and DMX. Me and X used to go to this dude's house in New Rochelle and, you know, lay down the plan, you know what I mean? Where we was going to go. What city we was gonna go to the battle of the next motherfucker, you know what I mean? Like, cause we heard niggas was nice and fucking wherever, you know what I mean? Wherever they at, we coming for them. You see what I'm saying? Me and X as a team, as a duo, not as a team, but me as a solo artist, him as a solo artist. But when I'm rapping, he would beatbox for me. You see what I'm saying? And when he rapping, unless another nigga wanted to beatbox for him, you know what I mean? Cause most of the time there was a nigga who wanted.
So I just wanted to share to give a little love to X, and so being that y'all are from Austin, TQ was the first artist from White Plains actually to get a major deal. He made the Source unsigned hype. And then he caught the ear of Paris from EPMD, who had a new label, PMD Records, through RCA, and he signed a major deal. So he's the first artist from White Plains to sign a major deal, a major record deal. So anyway, him and DMX came up together, and I just wanted to show a little bit of that. I wanted to give some love to DMX because again, today is his birthday. And you know, I just wanted to pay tribute to the brother. He would have been 53 today. One of my guests who actually did come and was here on time, my brother Arthur. I want to give him a shout out. This brother has been in the game for several decades. Starting out, I'm gonna let him tell you some of his story, but I'm just, you know, he was rapping in Mount Vernon, ended up getting with being with Zulu Nation, touring with Africa Bambaataa overseas, and all that. Then he started out doing security as a member of the Nation of Islam, the Fruits of Islam, for Carl Kanai. And Carl Kanai, every time he would go through a crowd, all the rappers would speak to Brother Arthur, and Carl was like, yeah, how you know all these rappers? He was like, oh, you know, I was in the, you know, do the little hip hop thing or whatever. So Carl was like, yo, do you ever think about working for me? And 30 days later, he's running the East Coast for Carl Kanai. So most rappers and television shows and stuff that you've seen people wearing Carl Kanai, this is the brother who made that happen. And he also was a solo artist himself. So I just wanted to introduce my brother Arthur, who is also currently the student minister of Mosque number 7 in Harlem. So I want to give him his props for that too.
Peace, beloved. How are you?
I'm good. So I did your intro. I don't know if I messed you up a little bit. I'll let you, tell a little bit of your history a little bit.
Well, you were kind of on it, but I'll just say this. I certainly resonate, and peace to all of the people that are listening as well. I certainly resonate to that New York City bias that the Boroughs had. They considered Westchester the Bronx, New York. I mean, they considered Mount Vernon upstate. And anything from Westchester upstate, though we can get to the Bronx, which was the home of hip hop, quicker than people from Queens, Brooklyn, Long Island. So we always had a chip on our shoulder, almost like I'll show you. For me, becoming a member of the Zulu Nation in the early 80s, I first embraced hip hop late 1977, 1978, before rap records. But joining the Zulu Nation and having a chapter up here in Mount Vernon with over 200 Zulus, it gave us credibility with the Bronx. So I was able to perform as a rapper in the Bronx River Project, St. Mary Park in the South Bronx, Bronx River Park Projects, the T Connection. And because if you were a member of the Zulu Nation, you was down by law. And so I was one of the first rap artists from Mount Vernon to make a record in 1984 on Tommy Boy Records. And the first, to my memory, is Eric McCain, who was part of DST's crew. Eric McCain, he was part of that group In Touch, the R&B crew. I don't know if that's in the book.
Yeah. Now let me stop you. So after our conversation, I actually found one that predates that, 1981.
TJ Swan.
Solo sounds featuring Les Love.
Hey y'all, that's me.
Get the Party Jumping, Express Records in 1981. So that was the earliest record of someone from Westchester that I found that made the record. And then number 2 is DST Cuts It Up with Godfather KC, who was from Mount Vernon. So and then your joint comes in after that. Yeah.
All right, I'll take number 3. That's good. But the point is to embrace a culture in the late 70s and today still being into, because you didn't talk about how I'm a DJ myself today.
Yes.
And so I go by the DJ handle of DJ I Slam, and every time I set my equipment up, plug into someone else's set, I'm just grateful that hip hop, was a journey that still continues for me, and to be able to play music, the music that the audience that embrace hip hop, whatever era, whatever genre they are. And I see my brother Charles St. Jericho on there. It's a blessing to be able to spin music for all ages, and knowing that element of DJing, the way we DJ, started out with some young brothers in the Bronx, and it spread all over. So just to be able to embrace hip hop still today is a blessing. So, some artists, especially those that may have had one hit or doesn't have a catalog, their name is mentioned, but they're no longer involved in the culture. They no longer perform. But just to be able to be on the stage with those who perform and spin again, that's truly a blessing.
Absolutely. And I want to give you a shout out. I want to give you one shout out real quick. You said, huh? Okay, who's that? Whoever's not speaking, whoever's not speaking, please mute themselves. I want to give. Oh, that's Jericho, right? Yeah, I want to give Brother Arthur props. They say you can tell a tree by its fruits. The brother got 4 daughters, and he was all the stuff he done. One of the most proudest moments is that DJing has allowed him to put 4 daughters and graduate them through college. And I just want to give him props. We don't applaud stuff like that in hip hop, and I just want to give my brother props for that. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I just want to shout that out, because anybody who knows we got kids, you know what I'm saying? That's a really big deal. And a lot of us that are down with hip hop are not necessarily feeding our family with hip hop still these days, and you still are. So with one of the elements of hip hop that you learned. So I want to give you your props for that.
Thank you, brother.
Now you had a video. I think we have your video queued up. I'd just like to play one of your songs if you want to introduce it and tell us a little bit about the song, or when the song came out.
Man, this is 1994. I remember recording it in what's my man? I Got a Man.
Not Jazzy J, not Jazzy Jason.
No, I Got a Man. What's your man got it?
Positive K.
I did it with Positive K. Used to have a studio on 125th Street and 8th Avenue.
With his boy LG, right?
Yeah, and LG produced it. Positive K he didn't charge me a dime for that studio time. And the very next day I had the cassette and I saw Chuck Chill Out. I was actually doing security over at Uptown Records. This was the time that Suge Knight was trying to, extort Andre Harrell. May God be pleased with him. And I was actually filling in for a brother because I was working with Carl Kanai at the time. And I saw Chuck Chill Out. He came out to get some records. And I said, Chuck, I want you to hear this. And he played it. He's like, yo, who's this? I said, this is me. He said, man, I want to sign you. And so at the time, my wife had just finished law school. She looked over the contract and we signed. So the name of the song is called What You Gonna Do. It was filmed at the Bronx River Projects, the home of the Zulu Nation. It was the video was produced by Ralph McDaniels. In that video, Funk Master Flex and others, but it's a real gritty video that gives you the feel of the 90s. So y'all can roll a little bit, play a little bit of it, and see the vibe of me as an artist.
Yeah, man. They got plans for us. Hello. Jackson, Tyson, and Jordan. It goes to show you it don't matter if you important. See, they be distorted because we ain't nothing in their eyes, and we can't rise until we get organized. So realize the situation is at hand for us to take a stand and fight the plan. They want to give us funds if we're turning our guns, but they're the same ones planning to slaughter us by the tons. So what you gonna do since you know now? You better listen to the brother with the know-how. I gotta go now, but when I get back, I'ma give you what you're lacking. That's a fact. What you gonna do? 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 Just because I keep my head ball and sell a final call, that don't mean I ain't down with y'all. The very same snake that bit you bit me too. I find it true, this is something I always knew. We gotta change our ways and actions. How it show dissatisfaction, be building up factions. We can't afford for our ranks to decrease. Why? Because I hear the sound of a beast coming with the intent to do harm. Sound the alarm, but everybody gotta remain calm. Cause if we're flinching it's a cinch. He's gonna give the trigger a pinch, and that'll set it off. The way you see the brothers busting, you would think it was July the 4th. So don't even try it. My people are tired, and you don't wanna see another riot. What you gonna do? 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 Just because the name of my God is Allah don't mean I won't be there if you need me, baby boy. We're in the same boat with the same float, so we can't afford to be at each other's throat. No Uncle Tommy, see the enemy, we both got us in common, and that's who I'm bombing. Whatever's clever, ain't nothing changed but the weather. All I wanna do is see my people come together. That's all I've been thinking of. Some say I teach hate, but what I teach is black on black love. So is it a crime if I drop a dime in the rhyme about the man that's keeping us behind? Call me paranoid, but I'm not. I'm blowing up the spot because I know what the devil got. So what you gonna do? Are you gonna be ready when it comes gunning for you? What
I see a bunch of legends in the video. I seen the legendary Crazy Legs from the Rocksteady crew. There was several others I saw, but he's the last one I noticed.
Tricky T
Yes.
from Eden Wall, Sleepy Wonder, Flex, and others, brother.
And the reason we're having this conversation specifically, I really want to show the roots of 914 hip hop and how far they actually go back. You know what I'm saying? Like you were doing this and with some of the legendary people who people respect as one of the founders, Bambaataa, the Zulu Nation, before recorded records, which was 1979, when King Tim III, Rappers Delight, and Spoonie G all came out. So a lot of people, like I said, when they celebrate these 50th anniversary celebrations, they talk about a lot of regions, the South and Atlanta and the West Coast and the Midwest and New York, but they don't talk about the 914. And the 914 has a very rich history, and you are part of that history, my brother. Oh, and I want to give you, and I want to say one more thing too. There's an iconic picture of Tupac after he gets shot, and he's in the wheelchair and he's being wheeled into the courtroom. That was my brother. That was Brother Arthur who was in that. That was. Were you actually pushing the wheelchair, or you were? I know you were doing security.
I was to Tupac's left, doing security, trying to clear him out the way. There was so much of paparazzi and press as we were going into the courthouse, and I remember this song was out when I was doing it because if you remember when Biggie got shot. And I mean, when Tupac got shot and they thought that Biggie did it, his mother, Afeni, reached out to Attorney Michael Warren and they contacted the Nation of Islam. And I remember doing security at his hotel room. I mean, not his hotel room, his hospital room. And I had to go in anytime that the doctors or the nurses needed to change his dressing. And so we took him out of the hotel maybe about I keep saying hotel, hospital, about 2 or 3 in the morning. And we brought him to an apartment in Harlem, and we took him out to go see his court. There was a rape charge that he had, and this was that particular day. So all of the press were waiting for him after getting shot. I mean, it was so many press there, but that was definitely a memorable moment. And that night, I was supposed to perform at Madison Square Garden. And man, for some reason, it was like, man, we don't have enough time. I was supposed to be one of the opening acts. That would have been definitely a thrill of my life. But I remember that time like it was yesterday.
And again, you are proof. Like I said, a lot of people don't know these stories. The book is full of stories like this. A lot of people's individual stories. Some of my memories and stuff like that. And it, like I said, goes to show the importance and the role that people from the 914 played in integral parts of hip hop that people know about. And again, this brother right here was one of them, and I definitely want to include him. And now he is DJ. He is DJing for anybody, along with my brother Tri-State Jericho as well. You might catch them DJing for the congressman or the mayor of Mount Vernon, or just community events or whatever. He's still holding it down, and his history is so much vast that I could probably do a show on just him. But I just wanted to cover the key points. And talk a little bit about the whole Carl Kanai thing. Let's do that too, and then
Surely.
Jericho.
And then I also want to jump in. For 2 years, I worked at Hot 97 on the True School at Noon with Africa Bambaataa. I was on Ralph McDaniel, so he used to have a show on WHBI on
105.9.
105.9. I actually, he had interviewed me in '94 when I was promoting the record, and knowledge of self, knowledge of the time and what must be done is my forte. And he was like, brother, listen, do you mind coming every week and doing a segment called Drop in Science? And so I used to come every week and was on that show with Charlene, his assistant at that time. But Carl Kanai, that was a wonderful experience because I stopped making records around 96, 97. And you know, I was cool with it because I was a family man. I got married in 97, and I knew I had to be a working man to take care of my family, and rap was not paying the bills. You know, a show here, a show there, couple of $100. It was not paying the bills. So a lot of times you be on TV, you know, you doing interviews, you on the radio, you're on cable television, but you're not getting money like that. We be faking it till we make it.
Right,
And
right,
so so
right.
when I started working with Carl, hey, I got my insurance. You know what I'm saying? Uh, I got a nice salary, but what it did, it permitted me to still be in the mix. So in that '90s era, from Craig Mack to the Lost Boys to the R&B singers like Genuine and Will Smith and Nas and Heavy, and I mean I was literally at somebody's photo shoot, somebody's video, somebody's show, making sure that they had gear, organizing college functions, fashion shows. Big L, rest in peace.
Yes,
From
yes.
from the athletes, so it kept me ahead of hip hop. In fact, I have a lot of relationships today with artists that I met, even when The Wire was out. We clothed many of the people from The Wire, from my man that played Barksdale, to all of them. So that was a treat. Initially, though, there were clothing that we wore, the Lee suits, of course, the velour sweatsuits. When in the 90s, when you had Cross Colors, Carl Kanai, and Fubu and others came, that became an integral part of hip hop, particularly Black designers. And again, being a part of that movement was powerful as well.
So I'm gonna transition into my brother Tri-State Jericho, but here as a transition, both brother Arthur and myself, DJ Eddie F was both at different times our DJ before he was with Hev, and I say that to say, before Hev was making records, him and Jericho used to rhyme together, and that was his first rhyme partner. And I like to introduce my brother Tri-State Jericho to the show. What's up, Jericho?
Yo, what's up, bro? Y'all hear me? I'm good.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes,
Clear.
sir.
What's happening? What's good? What's good, y'all? Brother Arthur, what's up?
I don't know if he heard you. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Peace,
So
sorry, I had muted myself. Peace, little
up,
brother.
What's good, man?
All
What's
good.
happening with you? All right. Everything's good, y'all.
So my brother Jericho is
brother?
another brother who has spanned a few decades. Again, like before records, rhyming with Heavy D, and then moving from originally from Mount Vernon, moving to the Bronx, moving to Yonkers, doing your own thing as a solo artist, and then doing some party promotions and managing artists, and then now being a big DJ known as the voice of Westchester.
Yes, man. The journey, man. The journey's been long. It's been like not as long as Brother Arthur though, but because Brother Arthur used to rap with my brother John. So when John used to rap with the Breakout Crew, that's how, and then Brother Arthur was like our baseball coach. You remember that? He was our baseball coach, man.
I used to tell you what you was a great pitcher. He was a great he had a strong fastball, mean curveball, and I used to stand behind the fence, and I used to throw the number up to tell him what pitch to throw.
Yeah, so we all go back, man, to Mount Vernon, man, where sports and music, man, sports music, not too much of the acting back then, man. It was more the sports and the music in Mount Vernon that we all loved, that we all like came around full circle with. You know what I'm saying? If we wasn't with the baseball, it came back to the music. If it was with the music, it's back to the baseball. So we all in Mount Vernon, it was the same, we was all around the same circle. But if Brother Arthur remember, when I moved out of Mount Vernon and I moved to Yonkers, I started doing my thing. I was doing my rap thing. I got with you on 125th Street. Remember at Bell Fashion,
No
we used to
doubt.
work. We used to work down there, and Fat
That's
Joe was
right.
down with Bell, down with Malachi and all of us,
Facts.
But
Yes, sir.
it was always music, man. We came back to the full circle on things, man. But the journey itself, man, I would say that Westchester County got a lot of unsung heroes, man. A lot, man. That really paved the way for the DMXs, for the Halves too now, because see, people don't understand when we was rapping, we was in high school, well, not high school, we was elementary school. Have was not really the guy who actually performed at parties. You know what I'm
Correct.
saying? Me and him actually,
Correct.
we bumped heads back when I moved to the Bronx, when I started doing it. He used to come to the parties and watch us rock. You know what I'm saying? He used to be behind the what's that we used to call them the ropes. He used to be behind the ropes watching us perform. Because I remember we was at Mount Vernon High School. We had dinner party, me, Domestic Brothers, and Tango Boys, and a lot of other artists that was doing the underground rap. So Head was actually watching and not really participating in the parties. A lot of people didn't know that. Me and him rocked finally after elementary school, after years went down the line. Me and him actually rocked freestyle at Tuckahoe, they had the Tuckahoe Rec Room and the Tuckahoe Projects. Eric J sent that tape to me a couple of years ago. He said, Joe, remember you and Have rocked at the Tuckahoe Rec Room? And it was like, wow. But see, a lot of people didn't know that, man. It was like, and another thing, man, a lot of people do not mention Rob the Gold.
Yeah, Rob the Gold. He was
Rob
the
the
first tape
Gold,
that I ever
to
heard.
me, was the first dude I ever heard talking
Wait,
on the
baby,
mic, man.
wait.
Baby. And John, I love music all my life, but my brother was more of the dude in the street that brought the music back home to me. And he used to bring it home. I used to wait, man, you got tapes? John used to have tapes, man. And I sit the whole night listening to Brother Arthur, Bandit, John, the Breakout Crew. I listened to Rob the Gold. I listened to DJ Blade, New Rock, Colin Brothers, so many people, man, that paved the way I used to listen to, man, that a lot of people don't mention when they talk about hip hop.
City Boy.
Yes, City Boy. But I get it, man. When you talk about 50 years of hip hop, you can't mention everybody. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like hip hop didn't just, it's not 50 years old. It's older than that. If you really look at it, it's older than that. Right? I'm 55. Right? Hip hop was here before me sitting on the steps listening to Red Alert on 98.7 Kiss. It's been way before that with the underground clubs in New York, man.
Like you said, WHBI 105.9. You had the Supreme Team and Mr. Magic before he went to BLS, and you had all of that.
Yeah, so I would say it's more than 50 years. Has to be.
Yeah, see, the 50-year thing is that date that the party that Kool Herc DJ for a sister, they identify that kind of like as a starting point.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And that's, I guess you need to have a celebration starting point. So they use that as the date to identify with. Yeah. But there were elements of hip hop way before that. And
right.
Even go back to the 60s.
That's a great point.
Even go back to the 60s, there were elements of hip hop. And
that's a great point.
A lot of people tell you that Muhammad Ali was actually considered he had the embodiment of a rapper, his words play. He was hip hop before there was hip hop. So
yes. But he just didn't. He had no beat to it.
Right.
Of the elements of hip hop, graffiti started before rap started.
Yes.
And there's a controversy because Africa Bambaataa was the only one that was doing Zulu Nation anniversaries, which honored the hip hop. So if you remember the old Zulu Nation flyers, he would have a picture of Kool Herc, he would have a picture of Grandmaster Flash, and he would have his picture there, and he would celebrate each year the Zulu Nation anniversary. And according to him, is really 49 years old. And so because of that party and how the whole name hip hop evolved, because it wasn't called hip hop from the beginning, it was b-boy music. So even arguably the breakers were breaking before the rappers was rapping, and before the DJs was even spinning in that era. So it's a little muddy, and depending on Grandmaster Flowers or who you
In
speak
Brooklyn.
to, yeah, it's the origins is murky, but nonetheless, to celebrate a rap star. Now I want to ask you a question, AJ, because you always ask people questions. What is your response to Dr. Umar Johnson's criticism that hip hop has been around for 50 years old, but hip hop does not have one hospital, one school? What's your response to that? Because I know you saw that on social media.
So I'm gonna make it quick. First off, that's a critique of the Black community, not hip hop. I mean, it should be a critique of the Black community, not hip hop. Hip hop has empowered a lot of people. I was watching an interview with DMX today, and he was saying he has a lot of rappers that he don't feel that were as good as him, but he said, they make their money, and you have to understand they're empowering and employing like 7 to 10 people of their people that would normally be in the streets. Hip hop took a lot of people who would have been on the streets, selling drugs or doing whatever, you know what I'm saying? And gave them something to do and gave them a way to make legitimate money, you know what I'm saying? And going past, because, you needed the people that was your, the person that was your manager or your road manager, the person that was running around carrying your records and stuff. You needed, like, it just empowered a lot of people. So even though his name is not a good name to bring up these days, the Sean Combs of the world, started labels and employed so many people. So yes, that critique is a critique that Damon and I from Black Westchester, we say, but it's about the Black community. I can't blame that on hip hop. Hip hop, if it wasn't for hip hop, there would have been a lot more crime, and there would have been a whole lot of people who were eating that weren't eating from no other way that might not, there'd been a lot more. So hip hop did a lot. So I can't put that all on hip hop. And I hear what he's saying, and I'll just leave it at that, because that's a whole nother conversation for another day.
So AJ, I need to interrupt you because I know we have other people that are in the gallery. I'm going to go ahead and open up the gallery if it's okay. We need to bring some other folks into the conversation who's been waiting.
Right. I was going to say, and I saw some questions and some comments, and I wanted to say, if anybody has a comment, please put their comment on the screen. And when we were talking about early elements of hip hop, Carlton Bedford Dozier, he said The Last Poets. That was another early element of hip hop that inspired hip hop. I know we have TJ, and I know this brother from Mount Vernon. He's cool with one of my cousins, and I know he was real good. He used to run with Corey with CL Smooth. Like to get him on to say a couple of words if I don't see him. Where's he at?
Yes, he's here. I just pinned him. TJ, you have to unmute though.
I'm here.
There we
go.
So
I know if anything that you heard that you want to join in, or
I mean, like hip hop turned 50 this year. I turned 50 this year. I grew up. That's all. I mean, that was like, besides hearing my parents' old school records of the 70s and 60s. My first rap album I ever purchased was King of Rock by Run DMC. So I was immersed in hip hop at a very early age, like 10, 11 years old. Went to school with a couple of famous people. I got to meet a lot of cool people behind the scenes. Actually, I've known Misa Hilton before she was Misa Hilton from 7th grade. So like, and Mount Vernon's a small place, so everybody just knew everybody at that time. So it was just
and
crazy.
That's another person who hip hop gave a career to.
Right.
Outside, like, there was not just the music, but she's in the book too, as in fashion. Yes.
Yeah. So she was always cool. I ran into the guy named Dexter Thibodeau. He used to do help premiere down at D&D Studios producing. I met Will Strickland, who did the first online hip hop concert ever with Wu-Tang, and started the first hip hop class at a university at UMass. So it's just the culture of being around the culture and being around people. I've always admired it. It was always an outlet. You know, when I had my daughter, I got her involved in it. She could spit scenario word for word if you asked it to, if it came on. So, like, it's definitely a tradition that you pass down and you want to be involved in. And it's just a great culture to learn. I learned a lot of stuff. Like Harris One taught me a lot of stuff that I didn't read in books or didn't hear every day from my teachers or my parents in class. You know what I'm saying? So I got knowledge from outside where people that I could relate to, that I could understand. So yeah, hip hop has always been a special place.
I was telling someone earlier, I actually learned more Black history from Public Enemy and KRS than I ever did in the public school system. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was just like names of Marcus Garvey and names I'd never heard of before. That was all from hip hop. Definitely.
Yeah. Your metal CJ walking away the straightening comb, you would notice you wasn't shown.
Right. You must learn, KRS.
I didn't know that, yo.
And she lived in Westchester.
No, you know what? I did a party at a mansion. I did a party at a mansion for someone who rented out the mansion. Man, I did a party in there, bro. It's nice.
Yes, she built that mansion in Briarcliff Manor, Irvington.
It's Irvington.
Irvington
area.
Yeah, Irvington.
That strip that goes into Irvington and Ardsley.
Yeah. Is there any people? I see several people that have made comments. Tamara, I wanted to ask. I know she just posted something. I wanted to say, did y'all have any questions?
Well, Jermaine just unmuted.
I want to also. Kareem was also another hip hop artist that came up and did a lot of performances and stuff. I used to own a studio, and I used to do it more for the community. But Kareem was a performer, artist, and was a talented brother who blessed the studio. So I wanted to get him in. And I know we talked about some of the original foundations of hip hop, and we transitioned and came up a little bit. So Kareem was in that. I think that next phase of hip hop where we are now, and I think he can speak to a lot of that, as well as his cousin and some of the shows and stuff that they did.
You're pinned. Go ahead, Kareem. Yep, you're pinned.
So my name is Kareem Holbrook, Shotty Screwface. You see behind me a lot of dark men. I was a Wu-Tang, a Wu affiliate. You know, still I produce for La right now, but I was on his first album, Heist of the Century. But did a lot of shows with Wu-Tang, Asbury Park. I was there when Shaheem got that $150 in Asbury Park. It was, you know, I did a lot with Wu Mansion, been around RZA. They taught me a lot, you know what I'm saying? Always a Wu-Tang head. But joining Wu-Tang, it was like a dream come true for me, you know what I'm saying? And just getting enlightenment by RZA himself, you know what I mean? So, but you know, I had a couple of groups with me, SK. I had my man AB from Sing Sing. You had SB from Sing Sing. You had 3D from Sing Sing. Spinny Spin. Force MDs used to come up there to Sing all the time. You know what I'm saying? X was in Sing. Him and my brother was like this. Donnie Rodnow brought X there. Slick Rick. There was a lot of heads that came to Austin. You know what I'm saying? Kiss is one of my brother's man too. You know what I'm saying? Jada Kiss. But me myself, I was always rolling with Wu-Tang, and I also did production for Vanilla Ice, and I did two beats for Vanilla Ice. But Willie the Kid also worked with DJ Drama, did some production work for him, which he worked for G Unit. He did work with G Unit. That was T.I.'s DJ. Yeah, I know y'all know DJ Drama. And that.
Yeah, yes. You
know what I'm saying? And Land. But right now it's just me and Talk, man. We making new music. He just got out Winter Wars 2. That's with Capadonna on there. Young Dirty Bastards on there.
He looks so much like his father and sounds so much like his father. It's amazing. It's amazing.
And he killed this too. You gotta look it up. Winter Wars 2. It's crazy. It just came out. But but yeah, man, I ran with Wu-Tang on this album, Heist of the Century, which came out in '98. I was on Vito with Black Rob. We all went back to back, had like a little battle session, you know what I'm saying? And rest in peace, Black Rob. And his album just came out too, Life Stories Part 2, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, Wu-Tang Clan, man, Wu-Tang Clan, Lot of Dark Man, Sing Sing Regime. You know, that Sing Sing Regime, that's all us, man. You know what I'm saying?
So talk about the scene, like, so, and rightfully so. A lot of people give, when you think of Westchester, Mount Vernon and Rochelle Yonkers. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of like as far as some people go. A lot of people, and I'm learning a little bit too, didn't know there was like a scene in Austin. Like they didn't,
right.
You know, people really don't know. Like they don't know that once you went up past White Plains, that there was like actually a hip hop scene or whatever. Yeah. So speak about some of the early influences in the Austin scene.
My early influence was SB, Wild Man Steve, 3D.
Wild Man Steve, yes.
You know, Wild Man Steve, 3D, Pooh. That's Lee Artist. Coastal Rock. You got ABC crew out there, you know, Breakers. My man, Grady Salter, G Rock, Elliot. You know, Extreme.
Was it Lord K1 from up there from the Force of D?
East.
Yeah.
Lord K. That's my
Lord
big
K1
brother.
was
Or K1, yup, exactly.
Yeah, we used to run up in, we used to be up in Austin. Austin was moving, yo.
Word. Yeah, Lord K1, man, he was wild, man, but he bought a lot. He bought the Force MDs up there.
He bought Stevie D them out there, right?
Yep.
Yeah. It was I think Mercury was from there too, or Staten Island. Mercury was
they was
Staten Island.
And y'all talked about the brother talked about the high school the joints that with TQ. Now, this I was a shorty, and Force and D's just came out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it was and they
Let Me Love You.
One of the talent.
It was actually Force MCs. It was a Force MCs did.
That's right, with Dr. Rock.
With Dr. Rock and Force MCs. The Lord K1 was from Austin. Yep.
B. But they put you know what I'm saying? Just jumped on stage, you know what I'm saying? So big man. But you know, I looked up to them brothers, man. And then which I came along and I took it a little further because I was rolling with Wu-Tang, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I was on Hot 97, I was on Stretcher by Beto, did a few songs on my cousin's album, you know what I'm saying? You know, shit like that, you know what I mean?
You know, it's funny, see, we don't understand with hip hop, like every area has their vets and has their pioneers. You know what I'm saying? So when people talk about hip hop, everyone has in their area their pioneers. You know, that's why that hip hop culture is so big, man. It's so big because, like I said, you got Brooklyn had Flowers, you got Harlem who had. See, a lot of people don't know about the Ray Vaughn and Johnny Wall. You understand what I'm saying? And then when you got Mount Vernon, you got the Breakout Crew, you got the
Collins Brothers,
Collins Brothers, you got Eddie Robert, the Moneymaker Mob, who to this day keeps that same energy that back in the 80s. To this day, they got that same energy. You know what I'm saying? So you got to give it to them. They don't break. They don't break at all, bro. They got the same look, the same energy, and the same routines, man, which is a blessing. Then you got Yonkers, where you got the solo sounds. You had the Just the Four. You had the Devastating Brothers. You had so many people. Yes, D.D. Def. But then you got New Road. You got the Master Ceremony. You got House Survivors. You got so many areas with so many people. You got the Bronx. You got Queens with. I don't know the back in the days with Queens. No, the Queens just got popular to the neighborhoods with the LLs and the Run DMCs, but they definitely have their hip hop pioneers too. Yeah. So when you come to hip hop, you got so many people that paved the way for the people who got popular from the music. You understand what I'm saying? The underground, with every music, you got rock and roll, they got the underground. that made way for AC/DC, that made way for Led Zeppelin. Got underground people that we don't know nothing about. Hip hop is the same. You got country western, had the country western underground that made way for the people who got popularity from it. You dig what I'm saying? But it's crazy because 9 out of 10, some of them guys in these areas really who got popular from the game, they really wasn't in the trenches with the people that was in the trenches.
And you know,
you dig it? Like, you dig it?
I had a conversation with Dick. I said, I'm born in 75. You dig what I'm saying? But I'm a young hip hop since 80. You dig what I'm saying? I was 6 years old. My brothers used to put the beats on me if I wasn't recording. You know what I'm saying, Mr. Magic? You know what I'm saying? So I have to sit in the house and record. So that's how I fell in love with hip hop. You know what I'm saying? And I was talking to a brother, and I'm saying, like, hip hop back then, everybody did it for the culture. Nobody did it really for money. You know what I'm saying?
It wasn't, we didn't know nothing about the bread then, you know?
It was the culture, and it was for respect.
And we know it actually was a hobby.
You go to somebody's hood going to sound like somebody else. Somebody putting the beats on you, B.
Yeah.
For real. I mean, I had battles with I battled Salem's Lot, them dudes in Harlem, right? Who brought me down to a battle. So now he like, yo, So they all went. Dude that brought me to the battle, and he was my cousin. You know what I'm saying? He was my cousin. So he brought me to the battle. He ain't even spit. So I start spitting. Dude, I'm spitting against 5 dudes. You dig? He ain't do nothing. They about to put the beats on your man. Somebody else came out, was like, nah. He said, on the respect of me. That's why they didn't put the beats on him. But hip hop was real back then. You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah, hip hop was real. Yeah. Hip hop was real.
I have to, while Jericho was talking about all the areas, I'm sorry if I interrupt. When Jericho was talking about all the areas, my Strong Island people was like, don't forget about Long Island. They had the legends. Long Island people, they would type it in the thing. Like,
so, you know what? But see, with Strong, we all the way up top. Strong Island is far. I don't know who the vets are, but my point is to say is that yes, Strong Island has their vets like everybody else had their vets. Even in California, everybody has
vets. Yeah, everybody has the person that set it off.
But see, people don't understand what it was that back in the days, the record companies were stationed in New York. New York was the powers that be.
So right?
Yeah, we was. If you want to make it, if you want to make a start of yourself, you want to be somebody. New York was the place to start off. But as time went on, other places started to be the Mecca. Atlanta started to be the Mecca. California started to be the Mecca. But at that time, they was watching New York, how New York get down. And yeah, definitely they had, man, the Florida had their vets. California had their vets. Because if you listen to Snoop and them, they'll say, okay, what's them twins? The Samoan twins. What's them name? The
Booyah Tribe. The Booyah Tribe.
Yes, the Booyah Tribe. They was back in the days. You got
Booyah from Cali, right?
Yeah. As I say, Cali had their vets. Well, you say the Booyah Tribe was the vets to, let's say, Snoop and them. And you know what? Honestly, the vet to Snoop and them too was DJ Quick and them. DJ Quick and them was out before all of them.
You know, Jericho, something that you said, and maybe I'd like to change maybe the discussion. What year do you think that hip hop went from culture to industry? Because that's when the morals,
in the 90s.
That's when things started changing.
In the 90s.
I think when MTV made the decision, because they were friends of Jerry Heller, to put NWA
on MTV Raps.
Yeah, and it was Run DMC got the airplay because of Rick Rubin, and NWA because of Jerry Heller. That changed the culture. It changed gang life in New York. It changed vocabulary vocabulary. We really wasn't cursing in our records. If you listen to the early records with Kid and Play and Salt and Pepper, Heavy D, they weren't curses. But then when that hard edge was acceptable, it changed radio. And then the other thing is that at one time, radio stations, every local area had their own radio stations. Then they moved to regional. Now they have national forecasts. So the industry kind of corrupted hip hop to a degree. I'm gonna be quiet and let somebody jump in.
It corrupted because of, like you said, NWA, and they made it say it was okay to say F this, F that. It was okay to do that. I would say the way it changed a little bit when it got to Atlanta. It was more country. You know what I'm saying? The LA Reeds made Atlanta surface, the Dungeon Family. You understand what I'm saying? This is way before a lot of situations happened in Atlanta. They made that pop out there. But the culture itself changed. See, but you gotta understand this though. The culture's changed with the society and the times. You dig it? The society and the times was so different, so the music changed. The music started from the message. Oh wait, let's rewind it. The music started from hip hop. You don't stop the body rock, right? That was to go your hands in the air.
Yes, y'all.
Hip hop created as a club party type of music, right? Because you know when people say you sold out, no, you didn't sell out when you start when you start talking about that. It originated from yes, y'all, to the beat, y'all, because Dust used to be the best man with that. You know what I'm saying? Dust used to rock the crowd. And that what it was. The MC was the hyper dude that rocked the crowd with the yes, y'all, say ho. But then it revolves with the times. Then the Public Enemy came with the KRS-One, what you must learn. So they started teaching us through the music. All right. Then NWA came with the police start saying, hook up. They beating us too, like they beating y'all in New York. So we're gonna say it because we had a white man with us who allowed us to get connected with the powers that be in order to even have that clear. You dig it? So then it revolved back to the 90s where Puff and them said, yo, you know what? We're gonna dance again. We're gonna dance again. The whole Bad Boy thing was about partying again. You understand? While the criminalization of rap music that was in California spread it all around the world now.
But
you understand what I'm saying?
It back to knowledge itself.
Yes, and it was back to that. But see, it all triggers like right now. Our culture, these young boys is doing it because that's their culture now. You understand what I'm saying? See, we got to look at it like this. We don't like it. You know what I'm saying? But when
there was more variety back then. You had backpack, you had shiny suits, and you had gangsta all at the same time.
But
so you can select a lane and go to that
we
lane.
Gotta see what we don't do. We don't give I'm not saying you, I'm saying a lot of people, OGs, do not listen to the younger dudes. You gotta listen to them. You gotta see how they live in the situation they are in. They're expressing everything that's in their culture right now, how we express everything in our culture. But see, us as OGs are saying, oh, that's garbage. This is this. No, to them it's not. Right? To us,
and that's what was told to us. We
yes, they said the same thing to us. But we got to understand, like I said, no, some of that stuff is crazy. Right? But you got some rap. You got some rap that was crazy too. You understand what I'm saying? So you got different genres of different type of music in different type of areas. But you got to understand, it's all on the umbrella of society of what that time of year it is. 1990 is different than a 2023-24.
But let me jump in. Let me jump in. If I could just say this. Go ahead.
AJ, I think this is a whole other conversation. Like this is we can have a whole nother spinoff on the impact of the culture of hip hop and different areas. But I just want to make sure that we
get back to 914.
Get back to the 914. Talk about that same impact, because I think the same way we were talking about how the lower Westchester, Mount Vernon's, and Yonkers was being slighted by not getting respect from the city. I think now when Ossining kind of felt that way about Mount Vernon and Yonkers, and the farther we got removed, it was like these segments, and we talked about those elements, but we were also just talking about some of the originators of hip hop and stuff. And I just saw the Spinny Spin join, and he's one of those who was tied back to original pieces of hip hop here in Ossining. So he's one of the OGs for us in Ossining. So all of you might know him. He's probably connected in the same circles from that original hip hop era back in the day. So, and he still brings that to Ossining. So I wanted to give Spin an opportunity to talk about the elements that he has tied to in 914 hip hop.
What's happening, everybody? Thank you for letting me room. I just jumped in, so I don't know where the conversation is, but my input.
Hip hop. Talk about your element, Spin, and how you tied to hip hop and what your history, and then a little bit. And I'll let AJ get back to it, but I wanted to jump in because I know we had a couple of people that were supposed to join and weren't able to, but we were at this point talking about some of the, like, each area of hip hop had their originators and their legends of hip hop or whatever. Like the original goes back to the source of that hip hop in that area, and you one of those ones for Ossining. And I think Brother Arthur and Jericho was speaking to that a little bit, and then we got into a broader conversation. But as an originator of hip hop, I wanted to talk about that here.
Hip hop, you can go everywhere with hip hop.
Yeah, we'd be all over the place.
Yo, I just want to say, what's up, Arthur?
What's up, brother?
I remember back in 2007 when I brought Young B up. She was only 13 years old, and I had the Force MDs. I had y'all do the security. Remember that block party?
Yes,
I've
sir.
been doing hip hop since McKay Park in Inglewood.
Nice.
Back when Sugar Hill. I'm gonna go back farther. Lord K1 was in my group before the Force MCs. So before Stevie D and Mercury had Lord K1, he left my group. And some of the rhymes that they were saying, I wrote. Steve put that in his book. Steve will validate that because he put in his own book. Lord K1 left Austin, New York, and joined them. And we, what he said in the book was that had we got our name out to the world and to make our name famous, we would have been famous. But we was out partying, which was true. We was out partying. I went to California, and my thing was I got to experience Uncle Jam's Army, Dwayne Simon and them. My cousins are from Inglewood, New Jersey, so I got this Leland Robinson before his mother had a Sugar Hill. He looked up to Stevie D and us as celebrities, not knowing his mother was going to discover Sugar Hill, Big Bank in them. So even Dougie Fresh, being down there, at Harlem World, performing with AJ and them, DJ Wise, my cousins called Lucas, Music Masters, DJ Flowers, Disco King Mario and them. I go back with all of them people. So, Eddie Chiba and them. So coming up with hip hop for me was always in my culture and in my blood. That's why I love hip hop, the beatboxing, the graffiti, the breakdancing, everything. My take on it now is hip hop is just rappers right now. They don't even focus on the graffiti. They don't focus on the breakdancers. They don't focus on the culture. They focus on the money part.
Right.
And like what I just was listening to, is monetized. So when you looked at the 50th anniversary of hip hop, weren't none of that hip hop. None of it. That was just brothers who get a chance to really an opportunity to move further for their own pocket. But as far as the culture, and this is just my opinion, is just as far as the culture, that wasn't hip hop, because you can't have hip hop without the originators who started the foundation. You just can't do it. So they should have had more people that started the culture. They should have recognized more people. There were so many people that done passed that they could have put in that celebration or that a program. They could have just mentioned their names, and they didn't. Like we talk about Heavy D. I used to go to Heavy D's cookouts. I used to have me and Marlena Blacker. Right, the Nothing But Love cookouts owned by Wilson Park. But Kid Capri, every time I go down to Katona Park, I make it my point to joke with Kid Capri. Remember when you was a really unknown person? We used to bring you up here, me and Cool Cal from Harlem, and used to do our cookouts. And he would start laughing. Because a lot of these people, Ron G, all them dudes, I'm 59 years old. I knew them dudes when they was really starting out, when it weren't a big billion-dollar industry. Right. It was just people for the love of the music. And that's what the young cats don't understand. It then went into a whole new trajectory. And when you get into conversations with people who wasn't there, who've never been to the T Connection, Broadway International, Celebrity Club, Funhouse, 1018, Justine's, Bond International, Roseland, 371, Copacabana. When you ain't never been in none of them places, Disco Fever, you can't talk to me about the foundation of hip hop, but you can talk to me about drill rap or the other stuff, which I'm 59 years old. I'm not into that. So, our conversations are apples and oranges. But when you talk about the foundation and the culture of rapping, breaking, graffiti, and breakdancing, then we can talk, and then we can get some type of conversation to move in any direction. But without going back to the foundation and the roots of that tree, you're going to go in all different directions with this hip hop. Everybody's going to have a different opinion. And,
absolutely.
I'm gonna have to go, AJ.
All right, peace, my brother. Thank you for coming through.
Peace, y'all. Thank you for having me, man. Thank y'all, man.
As a hip hop head, what I tried to do with this book, I tried to incorporate as many of the elements as possible. I tried to show as many of those who were the founders and the originators in the different areas in Westchester. I tried to celebrate the graffiti and the b-boying, and even going how it went into fashion and other aspects. And I also tried to bring in now I'm not really feeling the drill rap, but there are a handful of rhyme spitters from Westchester coming out that are pretty decent, and they really holding it down. I know a couple, like Jadakiss' son, J1 is one. Pooba has a son, Stunner Gang, he's one. There's this young lady in Yonkers, Lady Slim. I'm feeling her. And we have another one here from Yonkers, a brother named Large Amount, the boy with 1 billion bars. What's up, my brother?
Peace, y'all. What's going on? What's good?
What's good? What's good?
Just tapping in a little late, but I'm here.
No doubt, no doubt. So, and I call you one of the new dudes. I know you've been doing this for a minute. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of people don't know. You've been like under the radar in the street a little bit. But you ran with D Block for a while, and I think you're now doing your own thing. I mean, I heard some of the joints. I had to go through and listen to some of the joints when they said your name and dig you up, because that's I wanted to get a feel for what you do, and you was holding it down, and you one of them cats, like some of the ones that I named and some of the ones I didn't name, that showed me that hip hop is in good hands where it's going. I remember having a conversation with DJ Premier a couple of years back. We were talking about real hip hop and hip hop going where it's going, and he was like, as long as he keeps putting out joints, he said he look at it as playing basketball. No matter how far down he is, he keep putting points on the board. You know what I'm saying? As long as he keep putting points on the board and there's time on that clock, real hip hop is not out of it and out of the game. And cats like you are keeping them elements together for the next generation. So
yeah, I appreciate that. And just to piggyback off what you said in terms of dudes like myself, more content driven guys that try to have try to pack a message. I wouldn't even say try, but that just pack a message in their music, and just guys that go in that direction with it. I think there's always a place for artists like that. You know what I'm saying? And we probably don't get it enough, but I don't think a lot of times the consumers look for it enough. I think we get what we hear on the radio and stuff like that, and we just kind of get a little frustrated with looking for artists like Large Amount and artists that we kind of favor from the past, like the Nas's and guys like that. But I would say that the industry does still allow us to do it. they still allow the guys like myself and the Nas's and the Kendrick Lamars and the J. Cole's to get their shine. It's not a lot of us, it's not a lot of them. But I think if you stick to your guns and you stay in that lane and you stay in that direction and you real serious about that, and the people know that's what you're gonna stand on, yeah, eventually, you know what I'm saying, that lane, it'll keep you alive. It's a lane for people like that. And I think that's why I've been able to last as long as I've been able to last, because you like you said, I'm kind of like new on the scene, fairly not new on the scene, because I was with D Block like 10 years ago. That was when we dropped that No Security project. I want to say it might have been even longer than that now that I think about it. But I'll be 40 this year. Like, I'll be celebrating my 40th next week. So, you know what I'm saying? Just to stay hungry and to stay active and to just stay grounded and to stay in sync with the message, not so much with what's going on in terms of music, but understanding what's going on out here in the world and what's going on in the streets, and being able to just always try to find a way to convey what I like to do and the music that I like to listen to, but still give the people a reason to listen to me.
You know, one of the things that has changed in hip hop, back when I came out, back when Brother Arthur came out, back when Heavy D came out, back when some of those other people that we mentioned in hip hop came out, you basically had to sign to a record company to be able to get your music out to the world. There was no way of getting to the world, and you know what I'm saying, without being on a record company. Now, the game has changed with the internet a little bit, with the streaming services. Like a couple of people that I named, like J1 is not signed. Jadakiss son ain't signed to no label, but he's putting out projects. You know what I'm saying? Through streaming services. Same thing with Poopa's son. Stunning. Y'all allowed to put out. Y'all can put some music together, and then y'all can just put it on the internet, and y'all can just promote it, and y'all can just get like 1 million streams, like or whatever the case is. Like, we didn't have that aspect. Spotify and some of the streaming services and some of the way y'all been creative and some of these things.
It's a gift and a curse. It's a gift, not to cut you off.
It's absolutely a gift and a curse.
What I always say is that there's no gatekeepers anymore, and now anybody could just slip in with their stuff, and depending on how good you are with this internet, and if you become a genius with that marketing tool, and right now it's the biggest marketing and promotion tool, it's the internet. If you become a genius with that, you don't really have to be that talented, so to speak, music wise. You're just showing everybody that you know how to. You're a genius and you're a wizard with marketing and using this internet and stuff like that. But I do appreciate it in the sense of now you know who your fans are. You can get directly to your fans, where before the label, you would never know, like, you know what I'm saying, where your market is at, or who these people are that want to buy your music. They'll send you all over the world, and you know, and you'll be just doing whatever they tell you to do. Now you can say, you know what, let me spend more time in Rhode Island and Connecticut, because according to how I'm tracking my music and where I'm selling at, this look like where I need to be at. This is where the money is at for me. And then you just slowly start spider webbing off into areas and regions, you know what I'm saying, that surround those areas. So it's better for us in terms of controlling what we do. Now we have more control of what we do. Like you said, we don't have to wait for the labels to put the music out. I can go in my living room right now and use the studio that I built in my house and put an album out tomorrow morning. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's great, but at the same time, without the gatekeepers, we don't control, you know what I'm saying, who gets in and who doesn't in terms of the level of talent. So this is why we got
Brother Large, you mentioned something very powerful, because you know the frustrating thing, and I know Spin can bear witness, the frustrating thing in the early days was some of us was 13, 14. We didn't have money to go to a studio. And the only way that you could make a record is if you went to a studio. So, you know, it was downtown. When you was from Westchester, I know at 13, I wasn't getting on no train. My parents wasn't really that savvy about hip hop. So you guys, like for instance, we didn't, the early hip hop records, either you had a band that was playing, but they really didn't play it like the hip hop records that we was playing, so they didn't have that feel, or you was or like the Crash Crew when they used Freedom to do their song, you know. Yeah. So it has developed so where you guys could literally make beats on your computer, spit in your house, and then go take it to market like in a couple of days. And that process for us was long. And then what we did is, and I'm just drop this point, when we had an album out, right, we would work a single for like 8-10 months before the second single drops. Now y'all is so quick, so fast, so fast.
Yeah. I also want to, before he go, I want to say the one thing that hasn't changed though, Brother Arthur, is there was a lot of groups then, and you had to dig through. You had to really dig. You were digging through the crates and going to record stores and trying to find that real dope MC, those real dope. The internet, we've got a little lazy because it's just given to you. It's just right there. But you have to. There are very good artists in a lot of these different regions that are really holding it down, that never get no love. But the people have to actually go. The fans have to go back to digging for that real hip hop they want to hear. You know what I'm saying? And it may mean, like you said, Pandora's box. You might have to go through 100 whack records to find two good artists. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody can do it. But that's what we used to do for beats, and that's what we used to do for records, and for artists, we used to dig through, we used to find them, and the artists the fans have to get back to that. But like Lord said, though, I think one of the most important things you said too, this allows you to connect directly with your audience. So if you see that you bubbling in, like you said, Rhode Island or something, you start doing more Rhode Island show, and then you start stretching and expanding from here to here, and you know what I'm saying, and everywhere else, and you start building on those markets until they all start connecting, and y'all have more freedom to do that these days, and I'm encouraged, but it's still gonna take. Like I said, there's no gatekeepers no more. You need some of the older cats to come back into it and be the gatekeepers with the new, to mix the new, how we used to do things and how we do things now, and take full control over that. I think that's what it's going to take.
Can I say something?
Mm-hmm.
Can y'all hear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I want to piggyback on what Arthur said. One thing is, back coming up in the early days, they had cassettes, right? That's why we respect Cold Crush 4. We respect Cold Crush 4 not because they made records. We respect them
routines on cassettes. Yeah.
We respect Fantastic Five because of their artistry on the mic, not because they made no records. So that's the one point I want to make. Second point I want to make is, so with the cassettes, a person walking around the 5 boroughs and people saying, yo, who's that? That was our internet. If you think about it, that was our internet. So that's how so many people, Snoop Dogg and them, would say, yo, I used to hear about the Cold Crush. Shit, we didn't have no internet back then, but they'll say in their interviews, man, Nas and them was my idols. Cold Crush was my idol. I used to listen to Grandmaster Flash and Theodore and them, right? So I say that to say this. When you further on in the eras moving forward with Tip and all them guys, they were shopping their CDs out of the trunks. That they didn't have the internet. That's what they were doing and stuff. Just like the mixtapes. 50 Cent, he blew up off of mixtapes. So now we have the streaming platforms, right? And like a large professor said, if you don't have a marketing machine behind you, you're either going to hit or miss. And then a lot of it too, I believe, is just being in the right place at the right time. Some people are, computer savvy, and then there's people that ain't. You can I know people that get on the computer every day and make TikTok videos and got 100,000 followers. And you say, well, damn, they're not that talented. It's just that they go hard at what they do. Now, if you're looking at streaming platforms and you're saying you're making 1 penny off of a stream, to me, I don't see where that money's coming in. I would think more of, if I had a machine behind me and somebody's paying me $5,000 to do a show, and I'm doing multiple shows a night in multiple venues, then I'm gonna see streams of money. So it's how you look at it. Different artists being in the right place at the right time. But again, my point is, hip hop is splintered into so many fractions and so many you know, artists and opinions and venues. What you did say, I agree, Mr. Woodson, is we have to get back to the foundation. You cannot have a tree without the roots. It's not going to happen. And until we get back to that foundation, to put this back in a clean box, is hip hop is all over the place right now. If you look at the awards, they had to go back to the older, you know, LL Cool J and all them guys that came up, because them are the guys that are on tour now. Look who's on tour right now. All the old school, Nas, Kane, all them guys are on tour right now getting money. Rakim, all of them guys are in demand because there's so much rap out here that's so much you know, violence and, you know, just not to be negative, but the old school where it was yes, y'all, let's party, go home, get dressed, get fly, go to a party and go back home. That's what people are looking for. They want to have a good time. No one wants to put on their pants and then put a gun on after they pull up their pants and put on their outfit. That's not hip hop. But that's, you know, that's where we're at right now. And, you know, it's unfortunate.
LL Cool J did a good job with Rock the Bells of bringing back a lot of the elements and then creating opportunities for a lot of people that wasn't eating to be able to go back on the road. I wanted to ask Large to comment on what my brother just said as far as how you make your money now. You know what I'm saying? And because I know, the streaming thing, like you can have 1 million streams and that don't mean you got $1 million. That means you might have like 5,000, you might have $5,000. Like, you know what I'm saying? So how do you new artists, like, how do you navigate through that? You selling your music? How do you, let's talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, well, for me, selling the music now is selling it online through streaming sites that that deal with direct to consumer. So there's websites like Bandcamp that I use where you can mark your music up for whatever you want to sell it for. I can sell my album on there for $100, you know, a download, or I can sell it for as low as $4 a download. It actually gives you the range to price it at whatever you want to price it at, and it leaves the window open for the consumer to pay more than what you're pricing it at. So if I charge $10, you're still allowed to spend $50 for the download. It doesn't restrict you for showing love, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? However much love you want to show, you can do that. I think that's the smartest way for artists to do, is to find platforms like that through DistroKid and through other avenues where they can just sell their music right to the people that want to buy it. Whether you sell 5 or 10 downloads, you know what I'm saying, at $10, $15, it's better than the nonsense that you're going to get through Spotify, through Tidal, or through all of those avenues. I think the only reason people go to the DSPs like Spotify and Tidal and Apple Music is because the bigger platforms, Billboard and all of these other people, the iHeart Musics and all of these people, they track those type of numbers. They track what you're doing with Google and Spotify and Tidal. And that's how they start to invite artists to what they have going on. And that's the loop that you really want to get into, if that's the loop that you really want to get into. There's artists like Rush and La Russell that don't lean into that avenue, but they make hundreds of $1,000s a year off of downloads. You know what I'm saying? Off of selling their music direct to consumer. I think all of this is possible now. And again, it's a gift and a curse. But the DJs would be the ones that I want to say since the very beginning. I'm only, like I said, I'll be 40 this year, but from what I know about hip hop, the DJs was always the ones that controlled who was hot and who wasn't, who got a shot, who didn't, who they kind of put the platform there and put the stage there. Now with these windows like Bandcamp, you can go right around radio, you can go right around everybody. It's like DJ YouTube now and DJ TikTok. That's where people are going to see who's hot and what's going on. And you can win just like that. There's plenty of artists out there making money off of music that none of us have heard about.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
You're right
about
my
brother. Yeah. Yeah, I wanted to ask Brother TJ to chime in a little bit, and then I wanted to give, before we get too far, anybody who has anything that they're doing, whether they're selling, how they're promoting themselves. I want to give everybody an opportunity to how they can be reached. You know what I'm saying? What you have going on right now. If you got anything that you're trying to promote right now. But TJ, I wanted to give him a chance first to chime into this conversation before we move to that point.
No, what everybody said was spot on. It's a different era, it's a different time, and you gotta adapt. You have to change with the times, or else you're gonna be left behind because the old way is not working anymore. It's just like anything else. Technology has changed. Like you said, you can make a studio in 5 minutes. You can have a studio in your crib. You can put out an album in 2 days from your house. That was unavailable to us back in the day. It wasn't.
True.
It was who you knew, and if you didn't know anybody, you would walking around trying to promote yourself. You had to put in the work. And
Please
then
listen
even
to
when
my demo.
Yes, please listen to my demo.
Yes, plus if you didn't have, like, Puffy had street teams out there promoting artists that before they got hyped. The Locks had a street team, Biggie had a street team, Craig Mack, they all had street teams before they got on top. So if there's no such thing as that anymore, you got to get out there and promote yourself on the TikTok, on YouTube, on Bandcamp. You got to just put yourself out there. And that goes for any local artist, because there are no more A&Rs. There's nobody out here listening to hear what you got to say. Yeah, there's no artist development at all. That's why, like Large Amount said, there's no gatekeepers. You hear songs, you're like, how did that make the radio? Or who let this guy in the studio? You're like, this is crazy. But it's like Large Amount said, there's no gatekeepers. People are out there promoting and putting whatever they want out there, and it's all good. And they leveled the playing field that way. So if you wanted your voice to get heard, you got to tap into your demographic, tap into your niche, and just go 100 miles of running. What's the rapper? Tech-9 doesn't do any promotion, and he makes a few $1 million a year, and he's touring with no promotion at all. He sells his own merch. He sells his own everything. So you just gotta learn the game and adapt to it that way.
TJ, you real. Let me just share this with you real quick. As a DJ, because again, I still DJ, and whenever I do a Sweet 16 or whenever I do a prom, I have to ask them to give me the music in advance, because they're picking songs that's not on franchise record pool. They're picking songs that's not even on YouTube. They're picking TikTok songs.
Right.
And because I'm not savvy in it, I have to have them give me a list of songs you want to hear. They don't care about blending, cutting, scratching. All they want to do is hear their song. Even when you go to parties today, the majority of them come with their own headphones. They're listening to their own music in their ear, playing video games while music is being played from the speakers. It's a totally different vibe today.
It's funny you said there's no blending, because I'll go to a bar or something like that, and they'll just play one song after the next. There's no blending. It'll go from a fast song to a slow song to some crazy song, and I'm like, what is going on? This is not DJing. You just set a playlist, press the button, and walked away. Like, what are you doing? There's no blending anymore, or mixing or matching RPMs or beats per minute anymore. It's just play the next song, play the next song, play the next song. It's crazy.
Gatekeeper.
Right. Let me go through the list. Kareem, what do you have that you're working on now? Anything you want to promote? How do people get in touch with you? What's going on with you?
Me and my man AB and Bush, we got this joint, Butcher Boy Brigade. We got 2 joints out. I just got all this stuff, getting connected to the live streams and, the Apple Music and the Spotify. So it should be up there soon. I'm working with a group out here in Connecticut, called TPG. They nice, you know what I'm saying? Young boys, you know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to get all that on Spotify real soon. And you'll hear from me and my man AB, and Bush in the future. And also look out for Heist of the Century 2 here. Like in back of me, you got Heist of the Century 1 by Lotta Darkman. He coming out with Heist of the Century 2. I'll be doing some production work on that as well. I might be writing doing a couple of tracks on there with him, rhyming and all that. You know what I'm saying? So y'all can look out for that in the near future too.
Let me shout out Jericho. He had to go. Anybody who wants to reach Jericho can find him on all social media platforms. Music by Jericho. You can find him on all platforms. So if y'all want to reach out to that brother, he's DJing, he's doing his thing, he's still doing his thing. TJ, you have a show now. We didn't talk about. You have a podcast. Tell us about your podcast briefly and how people can listen. What is it about, real quick?
It's the Starting Five podcast. It's me and 4 other brothers. We're live every Sunday at 1 p.m. Facebook Live, YouTube. We're on all streaming platforms: Apple, Spotify, Anchor, YouTube. We talk about everything under the sun: hip hop, politics, sports. Most likely, what's going on in the world today. And it's 5 of us just coming together, rapping about what's going on in the world today, and trying to be better at life.
Okay, and did you say where people can find that? Where is it at?
The starting5.com. You can find us. It's on starting5.com on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. You can find us on all the platforms at thestarting5.com.
My brother, the OG, you don't have your name showing. You just says iPhone 8. I don't know if you have anything that you're promoting right now or anything. And I don't know if you have social media or not, but whatever you want to share so people can get in touch with you or support what you're doing.
Yeah, I'm on social media, Spin Love 5000, Instagram. Everybody know who I am. I'm back and forth from here, California, to Atlanta, but I'm up here in upstate New York. I bought a home, and I'm networking with my man I've been messing with for 23 years doing the big tournaments. We're going to be doing stuff up here as far as bringing hip hop up here to Poughkeepsie, New York. I'm doing what I do, which is, giving back to the community. I've been doing that for 25 years in Ossining. I'm going to be up here in Poughkeepsie, which is a city now, and bringing, hip hop, comedians, whatever, that's what I do. Like the people that don't know me right now on the panel, I am, Spencer Thomas, Unity in the Community. I've been doing this for 25 years. Been bringing Hunk Entertainment, Harlem up to Ossining, and one basketball players, talent shows, open mics, basketball tournaments, you name it. I've been doing it. I'm plugged in with most of the people in Westchester County. Grew up with, Grandmaster Gore and all them guys, JC, CC, when he went, all them from Yonkers. So I know everybody that most of the guys that you guys on the panel know, but I'm older. So, a lot of name droppings that people might know. I know them guys. So, that's me on social media. Spend Love 5000, Spencer Thomas, Yahoo 42, Spencer Thomas 42 at yahoo.com if you want to email me.
Appreciate you. Large amount, what you got going on? How people can reach you?
Yeah, I dropped it in the chat, all my links. Well, not the links, but just the information on how to get in touch with me. I got a YouTube channel that I'm building right now. So I got a lot of content coming out like weekly. I try to put some new content out every 2 to 3 days to keep that busy. I'll be putting out another album on Monday. It's called The Shine Box. I dropped the Honorable album back in September. So if you haven't gotten that, check that out. That's still on Bandcamp if you want to do it that way and support and spend some money. But it's also on all the downloading and streaming platforms too. We eventually put it out on that after a while. But the new album that's coming out on Christmas will only be out on Bandcamp. I'll be putting out the pre-sale link and the pre-download link for it later on this week on my IG page. So if anybody want to support that, just follow my IG. I put it in the chat already. And that's pretty much it, man. Just working on that. Got a bunch of things jumping off next year. So just stay tuned and y'all see what's going on.
No doubt. I want everybody, Brother Arthur's next. Everybody, my email address is blackwestchester@gmail.com. If everybody could just send me their links and whatever they got going on, just everybody hit me there and I can go from there. Brother Arthur, how can people reach you? What you got going on right now?
Real quick, just Bro Arthur Muhammad on Facebook. Bro Arthur Muhammad, Brother Arthur Muhammad. And I just wanted to give Andrew Wang a shout out. He been keeping this
Yes.
chat on fire.
Yes.
I wanted to thank him for staying engaged. And man, hey Spin, you only got me by a year, man. I'm 58, big brother.
And I'll be 58 in February. So yeah.
Come on now.
Yo, I feel young as hell, man.
That's right, man. That's right.
Bro, you know, the funny thing is that you know, as the years go by, we get younger. We age is like fine wine, man, and that's how I look at it. It's funny today that I'm on the Zoom. Yesterday, I'm going through boxes of VHS tapes, the little 8 millimeter, them little cassette joints, because I got footage of the Force and D's when they used to be at the Apollo. I got footage of.
They came to Mount Vernon. They came to Mount Vernon in 1981.
Bruh, I was there. I was there when you was down in Brooklyn when Dave Chappelle did the block party. I just couldn't get up there. It was too crowded.
Yes, sir. Yes,
I got footage of everybody, man. I got so much footage, man, that I gotta find a VCR that don't eat up the tapes, because I only have that one VHS tape. So each tape, when I put like a example tape in, it eats it up. So it's hard to find a VHS that when it's rolling, eventually it don't eat up the tape. And these are the only tapes I got, but I got tapes, I got 8 millimeter tapes, just old school artists, man, old school artists and stuff that I want to put on. Like everybody got these YouTube podcasts and stuff. I'm gonna put up some footage, some never before seen footage of what hip hop was. Arthur, you remember the rink out in Bergen, New Jersey, right?
No doubt.
See, I got the stuff back then when you had a Kodak camera, when you had that big camcorder camera, because that's what I did, man. I used to Fairleigh Dickinson University, like I said, Inglewood McKay Park back out there, and the jams out in the park when Melly Mel and them used to be out there in the park before all them records and stuff. So I want to put a lot of footage that I got and make my own
documentary. Make a documentary.
My brother, if you hit me at my email blackwestchester@gmail.com, one of the things Ralph McDaniels is doing is he's really restoring a lot of that and documenting that, and maybe he could walk you through. Maybe he could walk you through on what you need to make that, to take it from what you got to where you want to take it to. He might be instrumental in giving you some information. So I could definitely put y'all two together, because that's what he does now. He's literally like being a historian and documenting all that old stuff and turning it into, a format now that can be used. So that's what he does.
It's so funny, it's funny that you just said that. Shit, I got, when y'all said the street team, I got the original jacket, from the street team, from Bad Boy Street Team. When I say the original jacket, where is it at? The original jacket from the Bad Boy Street Team.
Wow.
The original, man, I got so much. I got so much stuff from back in the day, pictures, and when New Edition, when Force MDs was on tour with New Edition, Madison Square Garden, I got everything, man, everything. That's why Stevie D, they would never, when they did the Unsung, Steve and them was always moving around. And I always mention Steve and them because we best friends. They grew up in Austin as young kids before they was Force MDs, Force MCs, or any of that. Their mother's sister lived here in Austin, and they used to come visit their aunt. So we grew up together, not knowing that, they was going to go on to become Force MCs, him and Mercury, not knowing they was going to become Force MDs with Khalil and them and the TCD and them joining. So my relationship with their family enabled me to be around Steve and them going to talent shows and Disco Fever and them, and then me and my cousin and K1 and us going down there and stuff, and then the rest is history. So hip hop is in my
Spin, I got to cut you off because you be here for months talking about
Right.
So I already know your history because you've talked about it a lot, and the amount of legends you brought to Austin. And I have to cut you off because you be out here for the next 3 months talking about it.
I want to shout a couple of people that I saw. My brother Carlton Bedford Dozier from Strong Island. He holds me down all the time. Manny Faces, I don't know if he's still on, but he was on. He has a real strong podcast from Strong Island, but he's in Atlanta now. He got a real strong podcast. Again, shout out to Andrew Wang, who is definitely holds it's called Hip Hop Save America. Look that up. That's Manny Faces. But shout out to Andrew Wang, who definitely keeps me informed on what the heck is going on, like every 5 minutes, like literally every 5 minutes, like literally, word up, and everybody else. And I just want to wrap it up, and I want to just again, I put out this book.
Hold on. I want to say something. I want to say something.
Who's that? Oh, yo, what's
up? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. My bad.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
all right, listen
brother.
to me. I just want to bring. All right, listen to me. I known AJ for almost 50-something years, man. And listen to me. I want to bring it back to the 914 where we started from. This past summer, I went to every park jam that celebrated 50 years of hip hop, from Cortona to everywhere. Terrence One's Block Party. Let me tell you, Pete Rock, he had a DJ set at Grandmaster Flash Day, Cortona Park, so he was recognized. And during Terrence One's Block Party at 1520 Cedric Avenue in the Bronx, CL Smooth performed, and the Dean family and the Rough Riders family came through and they did a tribute to DMX. So don't think y'all was ignored during the celebration this summer in the Bronx, because they came through and they represented 914. I just wanted to say that before night ended. Okay?
No doubt. Peace.
AJ,
this is my brother.
Before you close out,
this is my brother from way back.
And AJ, before you close it out, I also want to acknowledge Andrew and Michael for one, they're keeping one of the elements of culture of hip hop, the beatboxing, alive, and they were part of the podcast that you guys did last month, and Lane was gracious enough to share that recording with us. So if anyone wants to see that recording from our podcast from last month with Michael and Andrew speaking about their performances and what they're still doing within hip hop and beatboxing, definitely let us know. Email me. I put my email address in. And Lane, thank you for sharing that recording from last month. I just wanted to acknowledge them too, because they are part of that core of hip hop and some of those elements. So
yes. So I'm wrapping it up with I wrote a book, and we got our own thing. It's a look at hip hop from the 914. Of course, there's no way that I have documented and cataloged everybody who's ever had anything to do with anything in hip hop in Westchester, but it will give you a good look on the various regions and a lot of the players from the old school to the new school who have been very instrumental in hip hop and have gone on to do a lot of other things and have been a big influence on hip hop. And I tried my best to document it as much as possible. The book is on Amazon now, or you can hit me at Mr. AJ Woodson, MRAJ Woodson at gmail.com, and you can get an autographed copy directly from me. I want to thank Jermaine and Tamara, and I wanted to invite both of them to say any last words or anything that they wanted to add.
I just wanted to say thank you again for all of you, dedicating some of your time to continue this dialogue and conversation, sharing your experiences and sharing your perspectives on hip hop in the 914. Go out and buy AJ's book. Continue to listen to those streaming songs. And if you get a chance, please watch our past podcast. And we have 3 more coming up, so look out for those in your emails. We'd love to see you on again. Okay, yeah. Thank you so much.
I definitely want to be on those podcasts.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I just want to say thank you to everyone. As you guys saw, we went on so many different tangents because the culture of hip hop runs deep in society and everything that we touch upon. And so this can branch out into a million different conversations. So I did put in the chat. If you guys do want to continue some type of conversation, we'll talk to Lane, and maybe outside of our series that we have scheduled already, maybe we can expand and talk about the different elements that we couldn't even get into now, because this is already has morphed into something beyond what we thought we would have. So I just want to thank everyone again for coming out. Please be in touch. Lane, thank you for all you do. AJ, thank you for hosting and all you guys are doing. So let's continue this. I love what's going on so far with these. And Andrew, thank you for sharing the link to that podcast in the chat. So thank you. We'll see you guys at the next one. Lane and AJ, I give it back to you.
Yeah.
Again,
okay, go ahead.
I wanted to say again, to repeat what Jermaine said, the last one we did was focused on beatbox and the art of noise. The next month for January, we will have Ralph McDaniels on, and we'll be focusing on the whole element of the video and the visual aspect of hip hop. He just celebrated, hip hop celebrated 50 years. He just celebrated his 40 years. He just 10 years. Video Music Box is 10 years younger than hip hop. And when we talked about things, Video Music Box is it comes on a public access channel in New York City, WNYC channel 25. But videotapes of this show have gone all over the world. People know about Video Music Box in Paris and everywhere else. That's like my brother was saying, that was like before the internet. Things were traveling through tapes, and I used to have a double cassette deck. If you had a dope tape and you came around me, I made a copy of it. So when you left, I still had that copy, and I was selling copies too, word up. And that's why you had the 4th, 5th, and 6th and 10th generation Cold Crush tapes and the Kumo D Busy Bee battle, what I'm saying. Ain't none of us. I was not there, but man, I had sold a whole lot of those tapes though. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, and I appreciate this conversation, always going on in this conversation. Being the editor of Black Westchester, one of the things I try to do is document as much Black people in Westchester, and this new book is trying to do that with hip hop, on all the aspects of hip hop, and that includes like the Mary J. Blige, who was one of the first people to take like R&B music and sing it solely over hip hop beats, you know what I'm saying, and do like the hip hop collabo thing, like. She's done records with damn every rapper, you know what I mean? Like hit records. So, she's included, and there's a lot of elements to the fashion and everything else in there. So if you get a chance, check out the book. And Lane, unless you have any last words?
No, you kind of did it. I just want to let people know the next show is planned for January 15th, and that the video from the last show and this one can be downloaded from the Race Talk Revolution YouTube page. It's loaded up on there as well. And I just want to thank everybody. This has been a really great conversation, a lot of education, a lot of love got shared in this platform today. Yep. So I just want to appreciate everybody. Thanks. It was a team effort for sure. Thanks, AJ, for moderating. And we look forward to seeing you all soon. Thanks, Tamara and Jermaine, for putting this all together. All right.
And shout out to everybody who tuned in, who didn't leave comments and stuff. There were several people that tuned in and came out and came in. So shout out to everybody who was involved in the conversation.
Everybody, Merry Christmas. Have a Happy New Year. Be safe, be well.
Oh, happy holidays. Yes.
Happy holidays, everyone.
Peace. Big love.
Peace out.
Big love.
Mike.
Peace, everybody. Enough love.
Much love, my brother.
Peace.
Listen to the situation, my son. I'm as serious as cancer. All fun is done for the time. The beat will correspond to rhymes. The two is valid. The best you will find.
Living in CI, who the hell am I? AJ Rock the juice, I get fly. Cool with the riffing guy. Keep a handle, cause if you don't, I'll wax you down like a candle.
Be love.